Hey everybody, Modern World Emporium, and for today's video, we're going to cover a video by HL Talk That Thought. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I will leave a link to the original video in the description. Now let's have at it.
Yesterday I told my husband I wanted to be separated from him, and I'm only crying right now because that was probably the hardest thing I've ever done. I truly thought I was going to be with him forever. And I still love him so much, and I wanted it to be different, but it's not.
Just the preview alone has got me excited. Anytime a woman is crying about divorcing her husband, but then still complains that she still loves him, you know you are in for a treat, and this is just another hypocrite that was influenced by outside sources to do the act. Let's continue.
Even just 5 years ago, I didn't understand how people who could love each other so much to get married and have kids and build a life together just throw it all away like that. Do I believe he loves me? Yes, I have no doubt he would absolutely kill for me, but...
Welcome back, family. Today we are going to review and understand the hypocrisy of this modern woman who decided to divorce her husband of 17 years. And the worst part about this story is that she still loves her husband. Let's first start by watching her crying while trying to justify her decision of leaving her good husband just to find something that she cannot even describe herself.
And he couldn't have described it any better. She has no idea why she is crying. Well, actually, she does deep down, because she knows that she was influenced by social media and outside women, probably her single friends, to commit the act of divorcing her husband that she allegedly still loves. Now the only thing she can do is sit here and cry in her car and her backyard, and that won't be her backyard soon, and try to garner sympathy on TikTok. Let's take a look.
Yesterday I told my husband I wanted to be separated from him, and people keep saying sorry, and I'm only crying right now because that was probably the hardest thing I've ever done. I truly thought I was going to be with him forever, and I still love him so much, and I wanted it to be different, but it's not. It's okay to be upset. This is 17 years of my life we're talking about. Somebody I shared children with, who I built a life with. So yeah, say sorry, but also say congratulations for also being really f***ing strong, because that was...
Oh man, the delusion is off the charts with this woman here. Strong? Yeah, fucking right. Strong enough to ruin your entire family? Like, are you kidding me? Why are women so obsessed with thinking they deserve a medal for ruining things for other people? I will never understand this. It's like an Olympic sport with these women on TikTok. It's like, oh, I should get a medal because I ruined my family. I should get a medal because I ruined my relationship. I had all my kids turn on me and now they hate me, so I should get a medal for how brave I am. Shut up. You're just a piece of shit.
Not easy.
No, that is not being strong. That is just deciding to destroy your family for your own selfish reasons and putting the blame on everything else except yourself. This is the BS these modern women want us to believe. They think that life just happens. No, life just don't happen. Everything that occurs in our lives is the result of our own actions accumulated over time. She had a very big role to play in the breakup of her own family, but instead of admitting that, she comes on the internet to try to get sympathy and validation for her decision of quitting the marriage. I will show an example of the hypocrisy in this woman's thinking on this next clip. You will clearly see her bad attitude and how she doesn't even want to be helpful to her own husband in the marriage. Check it out.
I really like the way this guy builds up to the next clip because he described it very, very well. Again, she is just a complete hypocrite, and I'm sure she's going to show it off great in this next clip. She pretty much is just crying, looking for sympathy, like we said before. And we all know what it's like with these types. They will sit in their car and cry for hours about how horrible their husband is. But then literally one TikTok video later, they'll explain about all the awful things that they do and how they just shouldn't have to do anything for them or their family. And that's why they're so fed up and why they're going through with the divorce to begin with. It's absolutely fucking disgusting, and it deserves absolutely no credibility, no warrant, and you shouldn't even listen to what they have to say.
Can't do it, don't help them. It is not your responsibility. If they get frustrated, they need to figure that shit on their own. You are not responsible for your partner. They are the parent too. They are a spouse too. They weren't grown up enough to be in this adult life, then they should not have gotten married and they should not have had kids. That's not your problem.
You can clearly see that this woman has an attitude problem.
And there it is. Her attitude problem is right. Another woman sitting there talking about the mental load and the mental labor of everything she has to do. Well, she didn't directly mention it in this particular clip. Most women will reference that as their point of why they shouldn't have to do anything in the household. And I find this hilarious. It's like, just admit you were a bad wife. You refuse to do anything for your family or your husband, because it's not just your husband you refuse to do things for, it is your entire family. Because when you are not cooperating with one member of your entire family, you are against the entire family, and that is something that these morons always refuse to acknowledge.
Can't imagine what this man had to endure during the whole 17 years of marriage. The level of disrespect of this woman is out of this world. I mean, she talks about her husband as if he was a kid. But I want you guys to remember when she said that you are not responsible for your partner. I really want you to keep that in mind, because you are going to see the hypocrisy on the next clip I am going to show you now. She will be trying to justify again why she left her husband for no valid reason.
Even just 5 years ago, I didn't understand how people who could love each other so much to get married and have kids and build a life together just throw it all away like that. But something never felt right with me.
Of course something didn't feel right, because you're not doing the right thing, you idiot. This is always the cop-out that women will do. Something didn't feel right. I had a feeling. I had a gut feeling. Yeah, no one cares about your gut feeling. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Never felt right with my relationship. It was always confusing. Do I believe he loves me? Yes, I have no doubt he would absolutely kill for me. But when it comes to nurturing and loving someone and like wanting to bend every will in your body for them and desire them, or just take them out or make them happy, know their littlest things that make them smile, I knew all of his. And then I started paying attention to things that he was saying. The one example that always stuck out in my mind was when he described his uncle's relationship with his wife. His uncle was kind of a Rolling Stone type of guy, never really had a home. And he met his wife, and he said just how he dances with her and grabs on her and loves her. I could just tell that she was the one, that he just loves her so much. That's an odd thing to say to a wife that you don't dance with, hug, grab, or touch on. And I
don't know if I'm saying this phrase correctly, but isn't it that comparing yourself to others pretty much takes away all the joy in your life? It is the thief of joy. And that is precisely what you are hearing here with this woman. She hears all these things that people do for their wives, and she immediately gets jealous and mad that he is not doing this for her. And the reason that I think that this is really ridiculous is because everyone shows intimacy in a different way. Some people have trouble showing intimacy as well. So if that's really that big of a problem, she could have very easily spoken to him on her own terms about this instead of expecting him to be a mind reader. And that's the big problem here. She clearly has a huge communication issue, and she's just not willing to admit that.
Little things like that throughout the years. And when he loved me, God, he loved me so hard. But then the next day, it felt like we were roommates. Like he didn't even talk to me. Every single time we got too close in the past 6 months, he ignored me for a week after. He didn't kiss me. He didn't hug me. He barely even listened when I talked. Every time I brought this to his attention, the problem was always me. I could never be together. You know, I had to go back to therapy. I had to read all the self-help books, and you wouldn't believe how many I have read. And I have them all. I will show you. And I even went to school for psychology. So I studied this shit. I became obsessed with it because I was convinced that if I just did the right thing or said the right thing, that he would fall madly in love with me. It was never one gigantic thing. I wish it was. I wish I could be like, he cheated and I hate him. Does he love me? Yes. Is he in love with me? No.
So let's take a listen to what really happened here. This woman basically read a bunch of really shitty female-forward self-help books that probably told her that she had no hand in any of the issues in her marriage and everything was her husband's fault. So once again, she knows this deep down that she fucked up and she followed bad advice, because a lot of these books are written by women for women. And as we all know, women hate taking accountability for any of their own problems. So she probably was just sitting there getting gassed up by these horrible books telling her, oh yeah, anytime your husband has a bad day, he's just a piece of shit. Anytime, but you don't have to do anything about it. But whenever you have a bad day, if he doesn't do everything for you, he's also a piece of shit. That's how these books work. That's how a lot of this female self-help and spiritual healing and healing journeys work. It's all a load of shit. And she knows that deep down too.
Going into the unknown is scary. I didn't even know I was ready until it actually happened. It was intuitive.
She clearly said that she knows that her husband loves her and that he would even kill for her. I mean, what more do you want? Remember that she said on the other clip that you are not responsible for your partner. Now, all over a sudden, she is claiming that her husband should be doing all the little things that make her happy. Do you guys see the hypocrisy here? Happiness is a choice that comes from within. Many women have been sold the lie that their men should make them happy.
And he couldn't be any more correct. Happiness comes from within, except when you're a woman, because they are never happy. Pretty much this entire video here was this woman completely contradicting herself, completely just complaining about a relationship that seemed perfectly fine. Pretty much for the most part, it looks like she's self-sabotaged and is going through the stages of grief, but refuses to accept that she's going through these stages of grief. So in other words, she pretty much has to project all these feelings back onto the husband and be like, yep, this is 100% his fault and 0% mine. And with that, we are actually going to cut today's video here because I have had enough of listening to this woman speak. Thank you so much to HL Talk That Thought for creating today's video. I'm going to link to his channel and the video down below. And if you could please subscribe and like my video as well. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.